Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from. My name is Divine Ugeva and I am an on-chain analyst. And today we're going to be looking at how to add date presets on your Dune dashboard or queries. Now you see, I think you should have come across those dashboards where you can easily toggle between a 7-day data, you can pick 30 days. There will be that box on top of the dashboard where you can easily just put 7 and the chart changes to 7 days. You put 30, it changes to 30 days. Or you see a dashboard where there is a drop down that says day, week, month, year, and quarter, and you can easily just toggle between those charts. It's flexible and it gives you the ability to quickly view charts in different time frames. Now if you've been wondering how to do that on Dune, that is what we're going to be looking at today. So we have two aspects of this topic or this video, and the first we're going to look at is how to have the drop down day, week, month, year, and quarter, and then we'll move on to having a parameter where you can easily put in 7 and you view 7 days data, put in 14, you view 14-day data, you put in 30, you view 30-day data, and so on and so forth. Not to waste much of our time, let's get right into it. Now I have this query on my screen. This is the transaction count, daily transaction count for Arbitrum or on Arbitrum, and we have our query here. It's a simple query: select date trunk, day, block date, and we all know that when you have day here, it means it's a daily data. Count distinct, transaction hash as transaction count, and we have our from, where, and group by and order by. Now I have my query result here, and as you can see, it's a daily transaction count. But I want to view it as a weekly. I want to know on a weekly basis what was the transaction count like, or I want to know on a monthly basis what was the transaction count like. That's what we're going to do. Now there are two methods to adding parameters to your Dune query. We'll be looking at the first method, which is my favorite method. I don't like stress. I'm going to come over to where I have day. I'm going to select my day. I'm going to change this day or replace it with two curly brackets. Two curly brackets is what you use to activate a parameter on Dune. Two curly brackets is what you use to activate a parameter on Dune. So we're going to have two curly brackets, and immediately I had two curly brackets, you see this parameter box or setting come up. Now I am going to edit. I want the name of my parameter to be period and not day, so I change it to period. So this is what is going to appear on your dashboard. When you add this query or you add this query result or chart to a dashboard, you're going to have a small box on top of your dashboard that says pick. Now how do we set it? You come over here. There are two ways to set it. You could have the text method where anyone could easily type in day. But then to make it easier for your viewers or for analysts that view your dashboard, you don't want people to have to type day, week, month, year, and maybe if there's a spelling or misspelling, you just have them struggling with the dashboard. Why not just make it easier for them and have it in a list? We're going to have it in a list where our list options are going to be day, week, month, year, and quarter. And our default selection is going to be week. So this default selection means your dashboard is going to be in a default of a weekly chart for Arbitrum's transaction count, and we are going to save it. If you want to put the parameter description, you can as well put, but it's not important. Now once you've put it, we're going to run. Okay, so we have our data now in weekly data. So as we can see from the date, this is 13th of October, no, September, October, yes, 13th of October to 20th of October, then 27th, then 3rd. So we can see that this way, if we want to create a chart, we just come here, maybe a bar chart, and we have our data as a weekly data so we can easily view. Now let's try out with a monthly data. So what we do, we just put month and we run again. Now we have our data analyzed as a monthly chart. We can see from here, yeah, we'll see 2024, August, September, October, November, December, January 2025. So this is how you change, your parameters, or this is how you set your parameters so you can easily toggle between daily data, monthly data, weekly data, yearly data, and quarterly data. I'm going to also try to do, let's go for quarterly and see what we have. Okay, great. We have our data now as quarterly data. So we have January to April, April to July, July to October, then January, April, July. So we have 4 quarters in a year. So this is what we have. Now, you can see that it's easy to move between, periods, day, week, month, year, quarter. It's very easy to move. Now let's move this visualization to a dashboard and see how it comes out on a dashboard. So we are going to add this to a dashboard. I'm going to create a new dashboard. Let's just call it data. We save the dashboard and we add done. So I'm going to go over to open the dashboard so we see how it appears when you have it in a dashboard. Okay, so this is the dashboard, and just like we set it, we have it as a default in week. Any viewer viewing your dashboard is going to see it like this, but when they want to change, they're going to hit, wherever they want to see. If they want to see monthly data, they're going to hit month. They want to see a yearly data, they're going to hit here. If they want to see quarterly data, they're going to hit quarterly and then run. So let's just see with a monthly data. Very good. So we have it in a monthly data now. So you can see it's a monthly. So we want to do quarterly, same way we hit and we run. We want to do yearly, same way we run. The reason why the first two ran without me clicking on run is because we had it run on our on where so we're going to run this. So now we had yearly and quarterly run over here before we moved to the dashboard, so that's why it didn't take as much time to run. So now we can see yearly. So we'll see 2023, 24, and 25. This is important, or this is necessary if you want to just view yearly data. You want to know 2023 on 2024 on 2025, what was the trend like, what was the highlight like. So this is just an overview of how you change between, or how you toggle between day, week, month, year, and quarterly. Now the next we're going to move on to is periods. You can impute the number of days you want, so that's what we're going to be looking at next. Okay, so we're going to have a new query, and for this we're going to be doing we're going to use the same transaction count we used, but in this time we're going to do something different. Let's take this off. Okay, So let me leave it as a default 7 day. Let's take this off. Okay, let's run. Okay, so now we don't have we didn't use date strong to trunk the dates. We just had block date as date, so it's just going to have a daily data. So now, but we want to be able to toggle between time, 7 days, 8 days, 10 days. For now we have 7 day data here, which is in 8 rows. Now, same way we did it, we're going to select the 7. We're going to change it to a parameter with two curly brackets, and inside we're going to have interval. Let's just put interval. That's the name of our. And then for the setting, now we're not doing a list, we're going to be doing a number, because we want people to be able to put in a number and view the number of days for that chart or that particular visualization. Now our default is going to be 14 days, and we will save. We run. Okay, so we have a 14-day data now. 14 days. If we want to put in, let's say 30, we put in 30 and we run. Good. We have 30-day data. Now we're going to visualize this. Let's just use a bar chart just like we did before. So yeah, we have a 30-day data. Now let's add this bar chart to, let's save this. And let's add to our dashboard. So we've added to our dashboard. Let's go over to our dashboard to see. Okay, great. Now we have two parameters. Normally when you are building a dashboard, you should have one parameter for all of the charts. But here, because we are making an example, we have two parameters. Now we want to switch interval. So we go over to interval and we input, let's see, 90 days. Once we input 90 days, we run. So now we have a 90-day data. So this is how you easily switch between parameters. Now there is a second method of adding parameters to your queries. Like I said, I prefer this method. Now you want to add a parameter to your query. Let's assume there is nothing here and you want to add. You see this small icon here, you just click on add parameter. Once you click on add parameter, it adds that curly bracket, and you can change the name of the parameter, which we did before, as interval, and you set it. So our setting is a number. Default number is 14. You can add a description, like I said, and just save. You have your 14-day data, or rather we have it on 30 days. So yeah, so 14. So whenever you want to change, you can just input and change. So this is how you can easily add parameters to your queries and change. And make sure that when you're adding parameters to your queries, if you're working with a lot of charts, have one method of adding parameters. So if you want to stick to the interval method of, you want viewers to put a number of days and switch between that, you can stick with that. If you want to stick with having a list where people just choose daily data, weekly data, monthly data, yearly data, quarterly data, you can as well stick with that. So these are the two methods of adding parameters to your query for dates preset, so people are able to view your data easily. Now for a bonus, we are going to look at how to add between. You see those dashboards where you have between these dates and this date? We're just going to briefly look at that as well. Okay, so since we've dealt with intervals, we're going to move on to the bonus, which is how to switch between dates. Now we don't want this here. We want to do block time between two dates. Okay, so we're going to remove this, and we will do block time between timestamp. We put our dates 2025 0101 and timestamp 2025 0606, no, 0601. Okay, now we save and run. Okay, so now we have visualization between January 1st to June 1st. So we have at May 31st. Okay, so between it didn't include the last date. But anyway, we want to change this now to a parameter. We want to be able to switch between dates. We want people to dynamically switch between dates. Now, same way we did it, we're going to select this date. We're going to change it to two curly brackets. This is going to be start date, and this we're going to change as well, two curly brackets, and this is going to be end date. So we have two parameters. We're going to set this. Our parameter type is going to be a date. So we can see the format in the date: year, month, and day, then hour, minute, second. So we can just do year, month, and day. So we pick, let's see, we want to start from January 1st. So save, that's our default start date, and our end date, we want to set this as well to, let's say August 1st, and we save. Once we save, we run. Okay, we have our result. So January to July 31st, or rather August 1st. Now this is how you change, you can change the date preset. Now let's add this, or I think I use the same query. So we're just going to rerun this dashboard so we have our new charts up. Okay, great. So now we have, let's edit this. So we are moving this here. So this is for this, and we have the start and end date for this particular chart. Now done, and let's pick something else. Since let's pick between March 1st, and our end date is going to be November 1st. Now let's run. Okay, so no result from query. Okay, so our start date should be the first thing. Yeah, that was the confusion. So start date should be here and end date here. So yeah, it was why we're not having any results. So done. Let's fix this. Let's pick 2024 November 1st to March 1st 2025, and let's hit run. Let's run two queries. Okay, so we have our data from November 1st to November 1st 2024 to March 2025. Now, this is just an example of how to, switch between when you want to have a list or a drop down, which we had here. So you can switch between day, week, month, year, and quarter, or you want to have where you impute time frame. So you want to put 14 days, 13 days, 12 days, 10 days. We did that the second, and the third, which we did or we just finished now, is where you have a start date and an end date. So thank you very much for staying with me in this class. And I hope you learned something new, and I hope you make use of the knowledge. Thank you very much.